You know what time it is. You know what time it is.
How firm thy friendship. Oh, how
you know what time it is. I'm raw with them boys of the fall. You know what time it is. On the ground with a nose for the ball. You know what time it is. Blood, sweat, and them tears for this game. Leaving it all out on the field with no fear for you lames. Yeah, you know what time it is. Come brawl with them boys of the fall. Covered in gray and scarlet, massive, stiff arms to your jaw. We breaking it. We sick of seeing you clowns with the crown. We taking it.
What up, all of BBZ Mafia? I'm TG. This is my co-host Sean. Sean, how you doing today?
Doing great. How are you, girl?
Oh, I'm good. I actually, whether you know it or not, I freaking hit my toe when I was limping for a little bit.
Oh man, sorry.
Yeah, it sucked, man. I see it. I'm doing better, but man, that hurt. Guys, Melo's gonna join us later, but today what we're gonna be going over is the massive update that has been given on the Scum situation regarding lawsuits and even more regarding like sexual harassment and assault that's been going on in that program, and how Michigan has actually been covering all of this up from the very beginning, how they have a history of doing this. So we're gonna go into that now. What I'm gonna start off with is first the Matt Weiss stuff. Whether people know it or not, the Michigan coaches knew, and there's legitimate evidence that the Michigan coaches knew that they knew Matt Weiss was doing this. They knew he was hacking. They knew all about it, and they didn't even bother to stop him. They just pretty much didn't care. And what's so sickening about that is you basically knew he was hacking other teams' practice footage. You didn't care because you knew it gave you a decisive advantage. You also knew what he was doing with these girls because, you know, hacking into female athlete stuff and even hacking into medical records and all that. You knew this was going on, but you chose to let it go on. And if you look at the timeline into which Matt Weiss was fired, it's so suspicious because it makes it seem like as if not only did the coaches knew, but so did the university, which is absolutely terrifying when you think about it.
I mean, I don't mean to laugh, but how stupid can you be? I mean, honestly, either that or you're so arrogant that you think you're so above everybody and so above the law that the rules don't apply to you guys. That we're mighty Michigan. We can do whatever we want. Well, guess what? You can't. And you know
Yeah,
what? And
they
for
really
turning
can.
a blind eye to it, I mean, Tressel got crucified for knowing about the tattoos and lying about it, and then finally coming clean about it. Those people up north crucified Jim Tressel. Well, your coaches knew what Matt Weiss was doing, and you still let him coach. And what he was doing was 10 times worse than what freaking Tressel did, or what our players were doing. They were trading their own personal belongings for tattoos, and those tattoos didn't give anybody an advantage. They didn't make them run faster. Didn't make them catch the ball better or throw better. Come on, give me a break. Bunch of scumbags.
That was that's true. And not only that, man, but think about it like this. I talked about it on the OHIO podcast, and I even talked about it on this show about whether or not it's going to be part of where I had no idea if it was going to be part of the NOA for the Connor Stallion stuff, because it is tied into the Connor Stallion stuff because they were using that. The practice footage and everything that's been confirmed to all be true. There's legitimate evidence that they were doing that, using the practice footage to identify plays that they have never seen before and be able to be prepared for it the second they step on the field. Which, again, when you look at how Ohio State, especially Ryan Day, with how he was on the sideline, same with James Franklin. Yeah, no, they knew from the moment. It was like, no, we've never ran these plays. How the heck do they know these plays? So they knew something suspicious was going on. But I'm going to tell you this now. It's not going to be part of the Connor Stallions NOA. As a matter of fact, from what it sounds like, the NOA, as Dennis Moore put it, it's another NOA incoming. It would be their third NOA. They suffered one from the Cheeseburger Gate, if you want to believe that whole thing, with the stupid excuses they were making. The Connor Stallions, now it's going to be one about Matt Weiss. And it's going to involve both the gambling and the hacking into these athletes' personal stuff, as well as hacking other colleges' legit film, their practice film, everything. So when you pretty much look at this whole thing, the NCAA now has the ability to to pretty much investigate this. They already have the evidence. They can investigate this and really hit Michigan even harder because this would be their third NOA. And how many years, man? How can
you're already on repeat offender status.
Yeah. Right. So what happens? I've never seen this. What happens to a team if they get a third NOA?
Well, you know what? Like they were saying last night, this isn't even close to being done. We don't know how further deeper it goes, what else it entails in all this evidence. I mean, they're recovering. I mean, they're digging. The further they dig, the more they're getting out of this. This could go down a whole another avenue that we don't know about, TG. I mean, it could get
trust me.
Dark. I mean,
trust me, it's getting bad for them because think about it. You already know the 2 lawsuits that they have right now at the hands of 2 Michigan female athletes. Now, I listened to Zach Smith and them show, the Menace to Sports. They said they thought this was just all allegations. This wasn't an allegation, whether people know this or not. These girls, whether you know it or not, they knew their accounts were hacked. Because they literally found out about it. Because whether you realize it or not, you realize Matt Weiss was using these girls' personal, pictures of themselves as blackmail. And they do this all the time. And not only that, but Michigan, not only did they know about it, but they never sent out a warning to their students that their stuff might have been hacked, which is what you're supposed to do. Like, because you're always going to know, because of the system, if you have a system like myself or like Sean has within like schools and everything, you always know when something might be messing with your stuff.
Yep.
There's always a notification to let you know. That is what Michigan, as well as the system that they use, the system that all the other schools use as well, into letting somebody know that their stuff might have been hacked. They never did that. They never did that, not once.
Nope. They tried to sweep it all under the rug so no one would notice. And guess what? Someone did.
Yeah, and the worst part of it is because we actually do got some videos that we'll play on here in a second if they work. About how like where it first covers the Matt Weiss stuff, but also talks about like how Michigan is known for covering stuff like this up. Like anything dealing with sexual harassment and assault, they are known for covering this stuff up. They've been doing it for years, going all the way back to the Bo Schembechler era.
Yep.
And a former player of theirs, a former player from Michigan, literally is standing with victims. He literally said this on a interview he did on the news station that he is going to expose Michigan and is going to expose all the dirtiness behind like how they cover this stuff up because they've been doing it for years. Remember, Bo Schembechler was covering for a doctor that was sexually abusing his football players, which is sick.
Not only his football players, but his stepson. His stepson.
Yeah, that's even crazier.
Yep.
That's even crazier. Like, how are you going to allow, like, you don't even believe your freaking son? I don't care if he's your stepson or not. You don't believe your son when he's telling you he's being sexually assaulted? Are you kidding?
And what's funny is I don't want to hear these people say, oh, these are just players that have an axe to grind. This was a starting tailback for Michigan that's come out and said this, that was a starter, had held records for him. So, I mean, it's not someone that was sitting the bench that was mad as just having an extra grind with Bo Schembechler because he was pissed because he didn't get to play football, guys.
Yeah, that's not what this is.
I mean, they'll try to twist the Michigan scumbags up there, that media, try to twist stuff around any way they can to protect Bo.
Yeah, so I listened to some of them and I'm like, y'all are some of the stupidest people. Like, you lack any morals, any principle, but it's not shocking because we're talking about a group of people, all the media in that place was covering for a pedophile, not just one, but 2. Yep. You were covering for 2 pedophiles that was on that staff that was gonna try to have sex with underage girls.
And the fact that you guys knew and you didn't say nothing to anybody, you put more people at risk. So shame on you guys. I mean, honestly.
Thank God for those people, for those guys who have that YouTube or this little show that they use to expose pedophiles. Because otherwise, none of us would ever knew about this.
Because I got a 10-year-old daughter, and that would have happened to my daughter because those idiots didn't say something. I don't want to beat somebody's ass for sure.
Absolutely.
They deserve it, man. That's
yeah. I mean, Steely is saying some of them are saying this, but that's the smart ones, the ones like who know better because you know this is morally wrong. But you got the majority of these fans that are literally trying to stick up for this crap. it's disgusting, really, because I'm like, how are you okay with this?
Weiss is disgruntled. How is Weiss disgruntled? Oh my god! And they're saying it isn't federally related.
Oh, wait a minute. Disgruntled? Oh my goodness. No. And not only are they saying that this is like not federally, like, how is it not? Dude, it's literally breaking federal laws. Are you kidding me? You're breaking federal, like, parents should want to kill this dude, literally. Because if I'm a parent and I see that's my daughter or this happened to my kid and this university flat out ignored it, I'm finna freaking lose it on this university. And guess what? This is opening up to more lawsuits because and think about the lawyer that's heading this up. This is the same person who won a lawsuit against Michigan to get like $490 million out of them before. And think about it. He's going to do everything he can to find as many of these victims as he possibly can to sue the F out of Michigan and to bankrupt it, because they're going to have a bunch of lawsuits heading their way. Because
what cracks me up is you got people like Isaiah Hull, who wears the hat that says Christ is King, and he goes on here and saying, well, I knew all about it all along, but I didn't report it because I didn't feel it was up to me to report it. So
you're a media person, douchebag.
Yeah, because you didn't want to put any bad publicity on your team. You withheld information that could have got somebody hurt, you freaking retard, you moron.
Trust me, I get where you're coming from. But that's the worst part of it, is these people don't understand. You're literally allowing kids to get hurt all because you don't want to make your program. Dude, if this happened at Ohio State, we all would be ripping our program. Not only that, but we'd be calling for everybody's job. Like, how the heck do you notice that you're not doing nothing?
We would be ashamed.
Oh, heck.
I mean, my Lord, we'd have hung Connor Stallions. Connor Stallions would have been in witness protection program because people would have went after him.
Oh, Matt,
what they do, they make him a hero of Michigan. That would not happen at Ohio State. We hold our coaches and our program at a higher standard. Why do you think there's
absolutely? And that's just, it's just because it's sickening. And you know how Ryan Day, he would never let that. He didn't give a dang. If you do this at his program, oh, you finna get it. I promise you, he not having it.
I mean, they self-report all the time stuff. I mean, they self-reported their, reaching out to a recruit on Facebook. They didn't have to report that. They did it. They self-report on themselves. I mean, my Lord.
All the time, because they don't want to break no rules. They don't want to have the whole incident like what happened with Tattoo Gate, even though that wasn't that big of a deal.
Yeah. Hole also covered for the pedophile on the staff too. He said he knew about it the whole time and he didn't report it because he said it wasn't his responsibility to report on. So
yeah, these people are sad. I'm just saying that you lack morals. You lack you literally lack all morals, all accountability, all anything. You guys literally are just the scummiest set of human beings. And if I'm a parent, I'm never letting my kid go there, especially girls. I am never letting them go there.
See, that's the difference. This is the difference between our show, me and TG, Mello, and Devin. We do not hold any allegiance to Ohio State. They do not tell us what to say. They don't tell us what to do. We do what we want to do, and we say what we want to say. We are honest with you guys.
Yeah, and we love Ohio State, too.
We love Ohio State.
Honest.
Yep, and if they were screwing up or they had scumbags like this in the system, we'd be the first ones standing up on soapboxes yelling, get rid of them.
Yep.
And no way in hell we'd want these people on our staff representing our school. No way.
No, oh, heck no. Oh, heck no. And trust me, Ohio State would have never put up with that. I promise you. They hate these type of scumbags. And look, James Yoder, what's funny is, did you see James Yoder's tweet? This scumbag literally is trying to deflect in every facet. And I said to myself, like, you see it on Eric's show. I'm going to tell you guys now. You will see it on Eric's show, where it's like he literally brings up one of the donors that is kind of like in the middle of like a legal thing, where it's like we're getting to some horrible thing that happened, and I'm not even gonna talk about it, on an island. It was so horrible, and that's where he's being linked to, but we don't know the facts yet. Like, we have to wait for that, but we will be the first ones to tell you that if this dude is literally complicit in this whole thing, if he's literally is in any sort involved in those horrible acts, take his name off the Woody Hayes, get rid of him. I don't give a damn how much money he has. I don't care.
Strip his
I do
name.
not want a scumbag like that in this program.
Exactly. We don't need his money. Take his name off any building that he put money towards. Get him out of here and blackball him for life.
Right.
I mean,
that's just the truth of it. It's literally just that's the thing that's so frustrating with Yoder and them. It's like, why are you deflecting? You know for a fact if this is all true, because we don't know how true it is. Again, we know how true this is because all the reports have been coming out. You bozos. It's literally been proven factual, and there's legit evidence that's been put out there. Legit. So, but if this is true, we don't want him here. We will be the first ones to call him out and tell Ohio State, get rid of this douchebag. Exactly.
They keep trying to bring up Zach Smith. Well, guess what? Zach Smith never got convicted, never got arrested for beating his wife. So you bozos, stop it, man.
That was easily. Let me tell you something. That was easily a lie. Because if you look at women today, and this is why I think this guy, Matt Weiss, knew he could get away with it. Because if you've seen, I'm going to kind of bring up these cases in a sense, but I want people to understand. Janelle Grant, Vince McMahon, if you've ever heard of that case that's been going around about that lawyer and how he's been, quote unquote, sexually like trafficking her off and all that. Also the thing with Joy Taylor, I'm not going to go deep into that, as well as, again, the Zach Smith wife. And then there's some other thing where 2 Ohio State players got expelled from the team from a woman that was claiming that they assaulted her, quote unquote.
It never happened.
And it never happened because there was never any factual evidence. The thing is, all those things of why I think Matt Weiss could take advantage of these women is all because of these type of women that I just named in these lawsuits with these men, because they are lying their teeth off. They're taking advantage of the justice system. And this is coming from a woman, mind you. I'm a woman, and I'm telling you this. These women are nothing but... and it's the same thing with the Mel Tucker, Brenda Trace, like, little lawsuit that happened. Like, these women are sluts. Sorry to say it. I'm going to put it out there. Yes, they are. Because these are women who know they could take advantage of the justice system. And this is what I hate more than anything. Because of something like this, and look, what they're suing these men over is something that does happen in real life. But the problem is, when you have women like this, you never know if you can fully believe them. This is why the police will have a hard time trusting a lot of these girls, no matter what they say, because of how often you have some of these women out here lying in today's day and age right now, taking advantage of the justice system. So this is why I think Matt Weiss knew he can get away with it. But that's even more sickening, though, because if there's legitimate evidence to it, report it, fool. Yep. You Michigan bozos, you are reporters. If you have facts and details, if you have legit evidence that is presented to you that shows how true this is, compared to all the other incidents I just named, where there's no legit evidence, then report it, fool. What are we doing? And again, I feel bad for a lot of women who have to go through this, because of stupid women like the women I just named. But it's like, again, you literally have to understand, if there's legitimate truth to this and there's legitimate evidence, unlike there were in these cases, then guess what? Report it.
And we want those guys gone.
Yes.
We do not want anybody like that in our system representing our teams, around our kids. I mean, we don't care how good a coach somebody is or how good of players. If they're putting hands on a woman or hurting somebody, hurting a kid, get them the heck out of here. We do not want them associated with Ohio State in any way, shape, or form. Yeah, and look at poor Gary and Connolly. I mean, that me and Mello had on Gary and Connolly, the former great Buckeye great. He got accused. Some girl made up a story about him assaulting her. And he fought it, and it cost him a lot. But it came out, and he ended up winning. And he sued her. He sued her for $300. And they said, "Why did you sue her for $300? You could sue her for a lot more." He says, "I don't want the money." He goes, "I want my name cleared." He goes, "I didn't do nothing wrong. I want my name cleared." But it cost him millions of dollars. Cost him, positions in the draft. People, it killed his career. Poor guy. He's a class act, great Buckeye, great kid, great guy. And just because somebody wanted to somebody wanted to take advantage of someone who's making money, There's going to be, a rich young guy tried to cash in on him.
Yeah, and what's super funny is when you pretty much look at this, from what he's telling me is that the team up north, that all they care about is winning. They don't care about these people's well-being. Again,
Exactly.
this goes all the way back to Bo Schembechler, as Abdul puts it. He defended Bo Schembechler for that. When, dude, this was going on. There's no lies. I'm sorry. And one of the former players from the Bo Schembechler era literally said he's going to expose them. He hates this university for that because you allowed it to happen to him. Why would you do that? Why would you? Honestly, not only that, but then you also do have sexual harassment and assault like that's being like charged against the hockey team, the men's hockey team, and the men's basketball team, especially involving one of the coaches from the men's hockey team who was I think harassing a girl. I gotta go back and look at the details, but there was some like horrendous there. That was just terrible.
Yeah, Big John has a good point too. There was a girl that lied about Zeke too. Zeke didn't do anything.
I didn't even know about that. That's new to me. Well,
the Michigan running back, he was telling a story about, when these kids go to school and, these athletes, when they're sick, they go and see the team doctor. I mean, during the year, during the off season, he had a strep throat, or he thought sore throat. He goes to see the team doctor and the team doctor gives him a prostate exam. Tell me, how is that even relevant to sore throat? Come on. And Bo does nothing about it?
That's sick. Oh, dude.
That's your guys' hero up there, Michigan. That's all you guys. Bo Schembechler, he's a Michigan man. You guys build a statue to him. Schembechler Hall. You guys want to dog on Woody Hayes because he got upset and punched a kid in the chest in the pads.
And he thought it was one of his own players, funny enough. And look, that was wrong of him. And trust us, us Ohio State fans hold him accountable for that. And even he apologized. And he apologized too. He apologized and said, "I fully regret my actions, and I hope the Lord forgives me for doing that, and I hope the kid forgives me for that." That is what's like. At least Woody Hayes had the ability to acknowledge what he did and apologize. I appreciate that of Woody, which is why I don't hate him.
And they fired him right afterwards. The poor guy got fired on the tarmac in the airport. As soon as he got home, he had to be escorted home by the cops. He was fired. He never coached another game again in his life. The poor guy paid for it.
Yeah, Steely basically brings that up, and rightfully so, though, because you shouldn't have done that.
Exactly.
You shouldn't have. And look, we can forgive you. And again, what's forgiving enough for Bo Schembechler is, not Bo Schembechler, what's forgiving enough for Woody Hayes is you owned it, you apologized, and you apologized for ruining the reputation of Ohio State and doing that to that kid. At least he had the ability to do that. And even beg God for forgiveness for what he did. I gotta appreciate that.
Maybe they ought to look at what happened to Gary Moeller up there too, their other coach that got fired after Bo Schembechler for being, what was that, DUI in the drive-through, being naked. That's the guy that replaced Bo Schembechler. He got fired.
Yep.
So there's been that whole program acts like they're all high and mighty. You can go back to their whole existence to them covering up sexual abuse, racism. They stopped Notre Dame from being in the Big Ten because they hated Catholics, because they did not want the Catholics in the Big Ten. Come on. And you want to call us scumbags?
Yeah, that's what's so sickening to me. Is basically that is you people are actually willing to try and justify this in any facet of the way, but yet y'all go out Ohio State, and this is why us Ohio State fans are going to be so merciless towards Michigan, because we will never forget how y'all acted during Tattoo Gate. Like that was the dumbest thing to get in trouble for. It really was.
Especially when you had a coach doing that, a coach covering it up. There's no difference between what Joe Paterno did and what Bo Schembechler did. The only difference between Joe and Bo is that Joe actually won national championships. Bo never won crap. Joe did. It was Joe's defensive coordinator, but it was freaking Bo's doctor, who was his friend. They covered up. The guy sexually assaulted his stepson. He still didn't believe his stepson.
Yeah, which is what's so sickening about that whole thing is basically that. And again, like, how could you never ever believe him when he says he got assaulted? That is just terrifyingly bad. It's just horrible.
But the fact, look, to get back on track now, but with Matt Weiss going now, with the fact that they knew about it and they still let him coach in a playoff. I mean, how much trouble are they going to be in for that? I mean,
a lot.
There's got to be something that then, I mean, these people think it's just what? It's Fisher Price Hammer. Remember Fisher Price Hammer, toy hammer. Nothing's going to happen. You guys are so screwed and you don't even realize it. There was ever a reason to bring back the death penalty, and I thought
this would be the situation right now.
It never would happen again after what happened to SMU. And I mean, this happened. SMU happened in like 1984 or 5, and they just finally got back to being relevant this year, being great again. Took them that many years. But I'm telling you right now, if anybody deserved it, it's Michigan. I think they ought to throw them out of the Big Ten for this.
Yeah, I'm gonna try to share the videos so that way you guys can actually see basically what they're talking about. Because here's the one from the Michigan player that was sexually abused by Woody Hayes. So his name is
not
John.
Woody Hayes, Bo Schembechler's doctor.
I mean, not Woody. I swear to God, I keep mixing them up because now you got me with the whole thing with the punching the player. But I'm gonna show you guys with Bo Schembechler. I'm gonna show you guys what he's talking about right here.
The history of the University of Michigan, at least in the last half century, has been one of uncontrolled, unpoliced sexual assault, rape, and cover-ups. And all of the institutions that are a part of the university's reporting systems are just black holes that victims go to for protection or for help that actually are just there to mitigate the responsibility and the liability of the Office of the President in the border regions. Those programs, the history of the University of Michigan, at least.
Y'all heard that? Y'all heard that?
Yeah.
That is what is so shocking, in my opinion, is basically that. Is how you allow that to happen. And I'm gonna go back and I'm gonna show the little like, look at what happened here. Look at, like, read this. The lawsuit alleges that 2 women, one who was a gymnast in 2017 and 2018, and one was a soccer player from 2017 to 23, were among Matt Weiss's thousands of victims. Pretty much said by Detroit News. The University of Michigan and its board of region failed to monitor, or should I say, failed to supervise and monitor Weiss, which led to these women having their privacy invaded, according to the lawsuit. So when you basically have that is sad, that is sickening, that is just like, you can't even, you really can't even fathom why in the world what this happened. Like, why would you even allow this to happen?
And for these idiots to sit here and say, well, he started doing it in Baltimore. Yeah, he started in Baltimore, but he continued to do it while he was in Michigan. What part don't you morons understand about that? I mean, they're trying to play it off like it just happened in Baltimore. He just did it while he was in Baltimore. No, he did it while he was in Baltimore, and he did it while he was in Michigan. What part of that don't you morons understand?
Exactly. And if you listen to the former player, he literally just said it. You can't even go to anybody in that school because it literally is just a black hole. They will cover it up no matter what. And again, this isn't Michigan's first time. They've been doing it for years. But when you're telling me that this has been going on for half a century, literally, when I heard that, I see it. Oh, wait a minute. No, this school is sick. This school is flat out sick. Man, if this ever happened to me, man, my parents would be walking in there where to kill somebody. Because it'd be like, are you serious? Like, imagine. I can already see how crazy my parents would have went. I can only imagine how some of these other parents must feel, especially when you see something like that.
Someone did that to my daughter. Oh, I'd be going to jail. I'd catch a case. That's for
I'll
sure.
promise you, that's exactly what happened with a lot of parents, man, especially mine. They would be willing to go to jail. Like, legit.
I mean, seriously.
It's sickening. Like, to hear that part is just so terrible. And it's like he said, the hammer from the NCAA, I think is going to be massive. And like I said, I think with the Matt Weiss stuff, it's going to be a third NOA. From what it is being said, it will be coming within the next month. It sounds like the third NOA. It will be coming within this like next month. So like even when this ain't even done.
Man, I don't have enough money to bail you out.
Yeah, that. And think about all the massive lawsuits that will be coming for that university.
How about Title IX? Title IX's got to figure in there somewhere, you would think. I mean, that's crimes against women and in sports. I mean, you would have to think.
Yeah. And the funny thing about that is when talking about this whole thing, like the other part that's so sickening is how it's like how you fail to monitor this. It's not the fact that you fail to monitor it, you're covering it up because again, there's proof that you knew of this. Which, and if you want to, I'm gonna try to see can I find the other video because it's one I had found, and I was watching a video, especially thanks to like Manage 2 Sports and them, and it's like basically how these guys were basically like the story of Matt Weiss basically, and how they're gonna go through this.
Former U of M assistant coach Matt Weiss is facing new legal trouble tonight, just one day after appearing in court on federal charges for computer hacking.
Now, 2 former Michigan athletes are suing him, accusing Weiss of stealing intimate photos. So let's get to Erica Erickson. She's live tonight. Erica, you spoke to their attorney today.
That's right. We spoke to one of the attorneys who filed this civil suit. This civil suit is 52 pages. There's a lot here, but I want to get to some of the details here. Now, there are 150,000 students allegedly affected with this indictment and 100 colleges across the country, according to prosecutors. And some of those images, those videos, intimate. And what the attorney says in this civil suit is there's a timeline here, and that timeline is pretty disturbing. So he wants to know, what did the school know and when? Now, we'll get to that in a second. Backstory here is Matt Weiss, University of Michigan assistant coach, the school and Cover Development Services, also known as the athletic trainer system that Weiss allegedly used. Prosecutors say Weiss was caught hacking into accounts, even researching and targeting women based on their school affiliation from 2015 to 2023. It's 8 years, keeping notes on photos and videos that he downloaded, commenting on the bodies and sexual preferences. And then sometimes the feds say returning years later to look for new photos. And the attorney that we spoke with today says the violations from Weiss, while those are devastating, the school's silence on top of it and the lack of accountability, that's yet.
How are they feeling right now?
I've been in contact with dozens of former female athletes at the University of Michigan that are just shocked. They feel betrayal trauma by this university that they gave their blood, sweat, and tears to, that failed to protect them.
So as far as the school has said, they can't comment on pending litigation. We just did pose some of these questions today. We learned that a lot of these allegations came to light in 2022, and he was placed on leave in 2023, but a lot of this came out in 2025. So we're going to learn more on Local 4 News at 5 o'clock. Reporting live, Erica Erickson, back to you.
Okay, we'll see you then, Erica. Thank you.
Imagine how sick you have to be just for that. Imagine how sick you have to be.
So they found out in 2022, and they put him on leave in 2023.
And it's right after. It's literally right after the playoffs against TCU. Like you proceed to lose to Max Duggan, and then after the fact, like you were trying to win because you were trying to win a playoff game, which shows. Like this wasn't just again allegations, and again with the system, and I think as Nevada Buck broke it down, these systems can tell you whether or not something of a student of yours information is getting hacked. It can tell you that, and if it's telling you that, why are you not letting the students know? That would be my question.
That's a good cost. I mean, that's something they're going to have to answer. I mean, sometimes the cover-up's worse than the crime, but this case, both is terrible. I mean,
yeah, and I know for a lot of people, and again, Zach kind of talked about this from his experience of, well, you don't know if we didn't know if this was true or not. I don't think, and I'm going to say this right now, I get where he's coming from, but I don't think you can say this with Michigan with John Vaughn, who we just heard from, says Michigan has literally a half a century history of covering this stuff up. So I don't think this is just allegations. I think they knew. As a matter of fact, it's not, I think, I know they did, because even Nevada Buck said it. They had a sneaking suspicion, if not, they pretty much knew that Matt Weiss was doing these things. And again, they knew about the hacking into other programs. They knew about the hacking into other programs. Again, their practice film and everything. They also knew about him hacking into other student stuff. They knew about it.
They also reported Penn State was another school that got hacked into.
Yeah, they were. This was confirmed. They were.
Yep, Penn State was. So it's not only Ohio State, it's Penn State. Some people also said Michigan State, supposedly, too. So, but look,
yeah, that's what's sad, man. As a matter of fact, let me try to see if I can find another video.
Imagine if every student that got hacked, if every single one of them files a court case against Michigan.
Oh, no, they're screwed. They're screwed.
I mean, how are you going to afford the lawyer fees? I mean, seriously, your school is going to be so screwed. I mean, you guys are so screwed. Plus, you don't know what all he was looking at, or what all he was hacking into, or what all he was doing. I mean, he's going to get in trouble for the gambling is going to come out too. I mean,
yeah, that's going to come out, but like
you're using that information to gamble. I mean, that's a whole nother issue. I mean, you got the sex stuff, then you're going to have the gambling stuff, then you're going to have the cheating stuff, and who else knows what else he was doing? I mean, if he's blackmailing people too, I mean, distortion. I mean, that's amazing.
Yeah, it's actually pretty sickening. It really is. Like, and I'm doing myself a favor trying to find that video from Menace to Sports, and I'm gonna see if I can and I'm gonna put it on here just so y'all can even see the whole thing for yourself as well.
Well, what's funny is they said on there that it was a federal charges.
Yes.
But yet, Scum fans are trying to say today that it wasn't federal charges, a federal case.
Yeah. So I did find the Menace to Sports on. Let me see if I can get that to play. And yes, Dev, next time I'll let you know if we're going to share videos. But even though I pretty much told you guys in the group chat, now if I deleted it, probably. Because I'm not going to lie. I don't want us to get hit with copyright stuff. So, but still, I'm not going to lie. Like, this stuff had to kind of be shown for y'all, because I'm not going to lie. This was so bad. I'm only going to do the Menace one only because there's certain parts of the video, certain articles that I think that came up in it. But while I'm doing that, I'm going to still say this. Michigan, you are a scumbag program. And like one of you have said it already. They can't be our rivals. Like, this is sad. This is sick. It just is. And yes, they did get a hold of health records as well, Dennis. They did. A bunch of health records. And this is for gambling. This is for gambling, but also being able to see
who's hurt, who's not.
Yeah, so that way they can have a pure advantage of who to game plan for and who not to.
I mean, but they're actually, if they're going around all the schools all around, I mean, and you're dishing out information to gamblers all over the place. I mean, who knows what kind of money he's making on the side. I mean, just even if Michigan's not playing that team, he could be looking up other teams, to place bets. I mean, if you got an advantage of who's hurt or who's not going to play, I mean, you're going to load up on that team and placing your bet.
Yep. So this is pretty much the lawyer's kind of like full Listen, Dev, I had to kind of bring it up because I know I probably, but I'm pretty sure I told you, Mello, and Sean. I'm just letting you know. I'm pretty sure I told y'all about that I'm bringing up these videos because I had to. But yeah, I found the one with Menace about the lawyer's full interview because I couldn't find the lawyer's one for whatever the reason on my stuff. So I had to try to go to theirs, and hopefully it doesn't get me on this one. But yeah, no, like this was kind of funny and again, this is the same lawyer who went against Michigan the first time and got $490 million out of them. So this is what's super funny.
Understanding the largest data breach in the history of the United States by an academic institution.
Roughly 3,300 athletes, this attorney says, left in fear.
They're fearful that bank accounts could be opened in their name. They're fearful that intimate photos, videos, conversations that they've had are being leaked.
The school, University of Michigan assistant coach Matt Weiss, Keffer Development Services, also known as the athletic trainer system, Weiss allegedly used, now named in a civil lawsuit after prosecutors say Weiss caught researching and targeting women based on their school affiliation, athletic history, and physical characteristics. Weiss even keeping notes on photos and videos that he downloaded, commenting on the bodies and sexual preferences, and sometimes, the feds say, returning years later to look for new photos. But while attorney Parker Steiner says the violations from Weiss are devastating, the silence and lack of accountability from the university is yet another betrayal.
How are they feeling right now?
I've been in contact with dozens of former female athletes at the University of Michigan that are just shocked.
Steiner says in late 2022, a student reported an odd notification in her email inbox to the school, but Weiss was not placed on leave until 2023, and even more.
Never once between 2022 and the day of the indictment had the university notified their student athletes that their information may have been compromised.
And Steiner says since then, the school has not reached out to current student athletes or alumni about what happened, or if there are.
Yeah,
Wow.
so I did borrow this from Menace, but that was sad. I mean, literally, the negligence has compromised the confidential of personal, medical, and intimate information, leading to profound feelings of betrayal, trauma, and fear among former female student athletes and others affected. Basically, like what this is what you're basically telling me, legit, is not only did you know of this, but this is the biggest legit like infiltration scandal that has ever happened in the history of any institution. And not only have you done this crap, but you let him do it. If you listen to the video closely, like literally you knew of this and you still let him coach. Why? And not only that, but thousands of athletes. It's not just those two Michigan girls. It's plenty of other athletes within Michigan that have had this done to them. And it's not just them. It's also other student athletes across the nation.
Yeah.
I'm Matt, how sick. First of all, how sick of a human being are you, Matt Weiss? I hope you rot in prison for 70 years, if not 100. And Jim Harbaugh, literally, somebody has said this. You ran the most corrupt program in the history of any institution there is. This is single-handedly the most corrupted program. And there is no lies in this. Because you're talking about covering stuff like this up. You didn't fire the guy until after the fact. Really, you put him on leave until after the fact, and then you fired him. Like, people who think athletes aren't going to pay attention to this, they are, and they should be notified of this. Like, this should be something that if I'm an athlete, why would I want to go to Michigan knowing? Like, we pretty much found this out. You cover this stuff up. A former player of yours basically said this. And then not only that, but you prove it years later, and you continue to show this. So I wonder what the Michigan fans are going to do when all this is said and done, because at the end of the day, y'all fools are literally like, y'all organization's cooked. You're done.
Not only the largest cheating scandal in the history of the NCAA, but the biggest information breach ever. I mean,
yes.
I mean, by the same institution. I mean, come on. The same ding dong hired them all. I mean, how does Harbaugh should not get a pass on this either?
No, he doesn't, because he knew about it too.
I mean, the moron hired them all. I mean,
it's so sickening. I said it to myself. I'm like, I cannot believe that this, like, the fact that this had to get found out legitimately is beyond just saving, in my opinion. Like, this university is cooked. Because if this lawyer, again, this is the same lawyer that done got y'all for $490 million. Imagine how bankrupt you're going to get when he gets a hold of all the athletes that you've done this to. I promise you. And not only that, but there was, like, legit, they students were reporting that they were getting these weird stuff in their emails. Like, you never notified them that their stuff got hacked, but they can see it because something popped up in their email that they never had there. And they reported it to you, and you never said a word. You didn't even bother to look into this. You really didn't. You knew because you already knew. And you just chose to brush it all aside, which makes you sick Fs.
Until now, TG, I never thought I would say anybody deserved the death penalty, but they deserve the death penalty.
Oh, they do.
You guys deserve the death penalty. You guys are scumbag. You're Penn State North. I mean, you guys not only.
Oh, this is worse than Penn State because I promise you. I promise you. I know that there was no physical stuff done. Not yet. Trust me. That's where this was gonna go. Because he would have used them pictures to blackmail them females into having, getting intimate with him, which would have been sick AF.
I mean, they're on the same. I mean, they're in the same block. I mean, it's that bad. I mean, they should be shut down. I mean, the NCAA needs to do something to shut them down. I don't care how much money they bring to the table, how much money they raise, because guess what? All that money that they have is going to go to legal fees.
Mm-hmm.
I mean, they are so screwed right now. All that money that they claim that they have up there, all that nil money that they're raising, you guys are going to need to raise a lot more money than that to keep that.
Oh yeah.
That college afloat there.
Yeah, and fire fish, you say so much worse. Oh, it probably is, and it wouldn't shock me how much worse this could get, because this is just the surface of it. I don't even know how deep this really goes. That's what's scary, is how deep does this go?
We don't all know what he was doing with everything either yet. I mean,
yeah,
this is
kind of sickening. Is, think about it like this: if you really think about it, imagine what, like, for this program, for you to pretty much know. I bet you they know, but they don't want this getting out there. I promise you they're going to try. They want to settle this crap because they don't want none of this getting out there, because they know this will make their program look even a million times worse than it already looks.
Why do you think none of the other NOAs were released? I mean, the last NOA was not released. A little bit was leaked to try to, do damage control, but the stuff that they leaked was horrible. So, I mean, how much worse was that? Now you got this one going to be coming down the line. Ooh, imagine getting that NOA.
Oh,
what's going to be in that?
That's going to be so much worse. That's going to be imagine, dude. They are going to be living in heck, and like I said, they're just pure. They're pure garbage. I'm sorry. Like I said, they can't be our rivals. This is too sick. This spits in the face of the rivalry, but at the same time, it's like we're giving them way too much. Like, I think if you're Ohio State, you ban this rivalry for the rest of the century. Like, you don't even let them anywhere near. Let them go into relevancy. I mean, I don't know if this will happen, but the Big Ten should kick them out the conference.
They won't.
And honestly, the NCAA should honestly downgrade them to D3 league, like to D3. That's where they should be. They're sickening. They are sickening Fs, and they are a program that don't deserve to be up.
They should not. I mean, honestly, I think they ought to do what they did to SMU and not let them play any games on TV.
Yeah, please don't. Because
hit him in the pocketbook.
Oh, yeah. I don't care how much money. Look, people talk about the money that they bring, dude. The money they're bringing is because of Ohio State. Remember that. That's it, man. Without this rivalry, they don't bring nothing. Their brand ain't that big. Their brand is not all that, and it hasn't been. Their brand is only known because of their rivalry with Ohio State. That's it, man. Okay? If Oregon has a rivalry with Ohio State, they become very widely known. Same with Notre Dame or any other team we could have a rivalry with, for that matter. They become that widely known.
I mean, I tell you what, though. I mean, if you look, I mean, SMU, I mean, that took them forever to get back after the death penalty. I think they need to give Michigan the death penalty. I would not let them have any games on TV anymore. If you look, they want to talk about how big of a brand they are. If your brand is so big, then why did your clothing store go bankrupt after you won a natty?
That's because no one bought it. That's because no one bought it. They were embarrassed.
No one was buying your stuff. I mean, look how much money Ohio State made after they won the natty this year off clothing sales. I mean, they made millions of dollars. What happened to Michigan? They freaking went bankrupt. How does that happen? How is that even possible?
Yeah, how this is happening is because legit they knew they were going to be embarrassed to wear that gear by the end of it. They knew what was being, they knew what was true. They didn't want to. And for Dev, if it depends on who they fire, because if you fire the coaching staff, if you fire the entire coaching staff, that doesn't help, because I'm going to remind you, the president and the AD were also involved in this.
They need to be gone,
as well as everybody in the Michigan brass, the higher ups above them, were all new about this stuff too. So that ain't gonna matter.
What's bad is, I mean, look at the basketball program. You had your coach attack another coach, try to attack an 80-year-old strength guy. I mean, you had, there was reports that there were sexual assaults involving hockey players that we still don't know what become of that. I mean, that got covered up. I mean, there's all kinds of other stuff going on in the other athletics. So how far does this go? I mean, it's just not the football program.
Yeah, it's just legit. It boggles your mind just how sad this program is. It just does.
I mean, the thing is, we just don't know if Matt Weiss was the only one involved in this. He could have buddies helping him do all this stuff too, because you have to be pretty dang smart to hack all that stuff by yourself. I mean, that's
And to find the entire athletic department, we'll see. But it's like, again, the higher ups, even above them, kind of knew about this and just covered that up too. So it's like, again, they're just sick. And he says, is there a of getting a penalty worse than the death penalty? Who knows?
I mean, honestly, Tyler, I don't know. I mean, Devin's got a good point. The entire athletic department should get,
yeah, like if they all got fired in May, but I don't think it will because of how much of an a-hole this entire university was. And like I said, they already got a bunch of other stuff. Now,
you know what, Rolando, I believe, they won't get the death penalty.
We're not saying they will. We're not saying they will. We're saying they should. They should. They absolutely should.
I don't think they will either because money talks nowadays. But I think if there was ever a case that someone should, I mean, honestly, Penn State should have got it, and they practically did get it.
The difference is Penn State, the university wasn't covering this up. That would be the difference. Like, they didn't know of this until it came out, and once the investigation was over, they fired him because it's like that was embarrassing. They freaking, like, trust me, they wish they kind of knew ahead of time. Yeah. So I can't even say the Penn State was covering, because it's not like they were covering this up. Like, Jerry Sandusky was just a horrible human being. That's just it. And he managed to do this while also keeping those kids quiet. So, which is what sucks. And you're right. It's amazing he does have a job still, but that tells you about their.
How does he? I mean, honestly, how does Jabba the Hutt still have a job?
What is that? What is that dude name from Spider-Man? That big, fat-looking old bald
Kingpin.
Kingpin. That's what he looked like. All the lawsuits might bankrupt the university, and it should.
Because that's not a state-run university. That's a private institution. So Josh Gaddis, Ron Moore, Matt Weiss. See, it's cursed.
Yeah. Now I'm gonna say this: Josh Gaddis, like, he knew of this stuff, and as a matter of fact, whether you know it or not, he has been whistleblowing to the NCAA about the whole cheating scandal, like and the recruiting stuff. Now, I don't know if he's legit, like,
Gaddis is kind of a slime ball because he did sleep with a recruit's mom, but I mean,
yeah, no. See, now that's the only thing is like you
Yeah.
slip with a recruit's mom, man. You're horrible. That's horrible. Oh, by the way, where's the Big Ten commissioner? He's waiting for the NCAA.
he's waiting for the investigation to get done so he can come in. He's
Yeah.
ready to pounce. I mean,
Oh yeah, trust me, he's waiting right now. He's yearning for the opportunity to pop this team.
he's
like,
just waiting for all the information to get out. So he just doesn't want to hammer him and more stuff come out and he can't punish him anymore. So
and Firefish said it here. Penn State fans are embarrassed and they don't try to cover. That's true.
Yeah.
And as Ken said, lack of institutional control, that is 100% true.
That's an understatement.
That's an understatement for how bad.
Honestly, it's an understatement. Come on, guys.
It's 100% true, but it's an understatement, man. Like this is just a whole worldwide cover up, is what's going on here. It's just sad.
Wow.
Yeah.
Well, guys, it's getting to be that time. 7:00.
Yep. Oh yeah, it's finna be. Yeah.
If any program deserves it, they should. But the NCAA will not throw that heavy hammer. They should vacate wins, show cause, suspensions. Moore is now a repeat offender. I agree with that. I do think that they will get vacated wins. I think they will get a bowl ban. I think there will be a show cause. I think there'll be a fine. I think they lose the natty. That's what I believe will happen. But I could be right or I could be wrong. And
yeah, that's what's super funny. Again, I cannot believe how sick, because the more information that starts coming up, it's like the more you start to realize, it's like, how sick is this university?
Yeah.
Like you are literally like, what do we call this? What type of U to be, like federal U or something like that?
Scumbag U. I mean,
like an institution that breaks this many like federal laws as well as like bylaws. Like what do we call you? It's more than scum. Like it's more than that.
Yeah, I mean they're a disgrace. That's all I can say. I mean, honestly,
they're a disgrace. Honestly, I honestly hope this. Honestly, I don't want anybody to settle with them. I hope somebody like legit just literally go with them and expose this crap.
I hope everything sees the light of day, and nothing gets covered up, and anybody that was harmed or hurt gets justice in this.
Yeah, I hope that for all the people who were legitimately hurt by this, because that is just sickening. This university deserves, again, they should get the death penalty, but they're not gonna. I would, like, literally, this is the one time it's deserved. I think their wins should get forfeited. I don't even think, again, with all the stuff we hear coming about the cheating scandal with the hacking now becoming a thing, then we also hear about this. Because, again, the NCAA knew of this, but they had to wait till the FBI finished their investigation so they can put it out. So that way they can go ahead and investigate it. Because, and again, this would allow them, and think about it for Title IX, too, because we talked about it when it comes to lawsuit. That is a huge, just like it's huge detriment for Michigan when it comes to Title IX stuff. It just is. Like, y'all finna go bankrupt when these lawsuits come out, man.
But I hope they do pro bono cases or their lawyers.
Yeah, it was funny. Is like the Michigan fans are told to now I'm wondering, and this is what I'm also gonna ask for y'all in the question. How would y'all feel about myself and Justin Spiro doing like a whole episode?
Requirement for the OC position past current sexual charges, or they can't get the position.
Yeah, put it in the comment section below. How would y'all feel about me and Justin Spiro doing something like this? Because I know he's gonna be on the show next week. But if y'all had the opportunity to see me and him, legit, I promise you, how would you guys like me and him to have a conversation about this? Just put it in the chat. Or better yet, put it in the
I mean, the feds, I mean, who knows how long this is going to take, honestly, guys. I mean, hopefully, it gets solved, within a few months, but we're talking summertime with the Counter Stallions. And maybe, I mean, with the feds, who knows?
Yeah. So, yeah, trust me, guys, if you do want to see that, it'll happen someday, just not now. It'll happen Sunday, just not now. He will be on the show next week with Dev and Mello, I think, and he's gonna have some more stuff to report. So watch for that, because that is going to be absolute fire. I cannot wait to hear what more he has. And we're going to end it because Buckeye Scoop is going to be coming on soon. So figured this would pretty much be a great time to stop the episode. If you guys have any comments, questions, anything, put it in the comment section down below. Enjoy being out here with you guys, sharing this information. Let's pray and let's be ready for the NCAA to drop the hammer on those scumbags because it's so well deserved.
To all our regulars, we thank you. And I saw Big John, Johnny Ohio 5338. We've got a few new people in here tonight. Appreciate the new people coming in. You guys are all welcome here. Please head over to Scoop and support Nevada and Kirk, our friends. So had a blast again, TG. Thank you for just bringing it like you always do, girl.
Yeah, I had to talk about this. I made this show. I had to talk about this because once the stuff came out, I'm like, I'm going to roast these morons. I'm going to go after them. So this is good night for you guys. Have a great day. Enjoy the rest of your week. Enjoy the rest of your day. And go enjoy Buckeye Scoop. Also, go on the OHIO podcast for their call-in show. Make sure you tune in live. See us over there. Until see you next time, OH.
I know.
All right. We out, people.